Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so essentially what's on my mind right now is basketball. Obviously the Lakers punched their ticket against the Pelicans. I think the first thought that's on my mind is just looking at Zion's injury. From what I understand, is some type of pulled hamstring or something like that. And you know, it happened at the worst time for him at the end of the season. With the season on the line, he's had 40 points. He's got 3 minutes left in the game and gets hurt on a non-contact injury. In my opinion, this is just one of those hard lessons in life for him, to where if you're taking care of your body the whole time, you're less likely to have this type of injury. With him eating as poorly as he did for as many years as he did, not taking care of himself, gaining weight, losing weight quickly, it doesn't mean that the parts of your body that are necessary to be as strong as they need to be are going to be taken care of. That takes years and years of consistency and practice. You can't waver. You cannot waver on your diet. You can't waver on your stretching. You can't waver on being in shape when you're trying to be a professional basketball player playing this many basketball games with this much power to your body. You need to take care of yourself. He's more susceptible to these type of injuries because he didn't take care of himself until the last minute. Over the last 6 months, now you want to get in shape. That don't mean that your body is prepared as strong as it needs to for what you're asking for it to do. It just means that you lost weight, you got in shape. It don't mean that you've been conditioning yourself for what it is that's in front of you. He needs to, from here on out, and we say the same thing about every athlete, and I think about Anthony Davis as well, you got to take care of yourself when it comes to your diet and your stretching and your conditioning. All the time. Anthony Davis was able to play more games than he's ever played this season because he took care of himself in this offseason, and he took care of himself last offseason as well. You got to keep that up. When he first got to the Lakers after we won 2020 championship, obviously his diet got worse. It showed in his body. Obviously his conditioning wasn't up to par. It showed in his body. And Zion's the same way. If you like to eat, you got to wait till you retire. If you like, you know, especially if you got all the money in the world, you can afford anything you want. Your body is your money maker. If you don't take care of it, it won't take care of you. And it can rear its ugly head at the wrong time, and that's exactly what happened to Zion, in my opinion. If he had been in shape the entire time, his entire career, if he would have been taking his body seriously and not doing all the stuff that has been reported he was doing in regards to his diet, I don't think he has this injury. Sometimes, and call me a spiritual person, but sometimes I think God be trying to teach us a lesson. And when it comes to Zion, maybe that's what this was. Maybe. When you look at the timing of what it is and when it happened and how well he was playing when it happened, how important the game was. You got to take care of yourself all the time. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So that's what really comes to mind for me. I've also heard the theories that was a thrown in fake injury. They threw the game for the Lakers and all types of stuff like that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe he got hurt. That's what I think. And I'm not a doctor. So take what I have to say for what it's worth. But at the end of the day, if you take care of yourself all the time, you lessen the chance of your body coming up gimpy in situations like that, I believe. So that's what I want to say, man. That's the first thing that came to mind. I'm also thinking about it, and this is an unrelated topic to Zion and the Pelicans, but I'm considering not making a prediction for the Lakers Nuggets series. I think it's, as a fan, I don't feel like it contributes to much positivity if I pick the Nuggets to win the series. I think it's obvious the Nuggets have beaten us 8 times in a row. And based on that data, you're going to pick the Nuggets to win the series. But what I want my team to do is overcome what looks like is an impossible feat. So me expressing to you all, 500 plus people, and whoever else watches this, that I don't believe in us winning, I think can contribute into the overall environment of us not believing. I really believe that. I think when you get to a point when you're a talking head and you have people who follow you, there's going to be a million people who state the obvious, that the Denver Nuggets are a more accomplished basketball team as of late. They've had the Lakers' numbers as of late. The Lakers don't match up well with them and all these different things. I want my team to beat this team. I want us to win. And so if I sit up here and state what the data shows me, of course I'm going to pick the Nuggets. Everyone should. I don't think it's about whether or not I think the Lakers are expected to beat the Nuggets. I want the Lakers to find a way to do so. And so that's how I want to cater my conversation as a fan. These are the playoffs. I'm invested in this thing. I don't want to lose to this team. This team has been disrespectful to us. Their coach has been disrespectful to us for a couple years now. Maybe he's favored to win. That doesn't mean I want to give him any ammo and energy in that direction. None. So as a fan, I also don't want to go against the data on some rah-rah stuff, because that goes against what I believe in. Picking the Lakers in 5, Lakers in 4, like, that goes against what the data shows me. I don't have any reason to believe that that is what I should expect. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not in the business at this point of contributing to the overall positivity of the Denver Nuggets. I'm on this side. I want to win. You feel me? So that's really what it comes down to. Of course the data tells me the Nuggets should win the series. But I'm not going to predict that the Nuggets win the series, because I genuinely want the Lakers to overcome them. Straight up. And I'm not going to predict the Lakers going to win the series, because that betrays the data that's been given to me. Yeah. So what am I supposed to say as a fan who wants to see the team win, who contributes to conversations about this team every day? That I expect that their disrespect will go unchecked? Hell no. I'm speaking to the opposite of that. That's really what it comes down to. I want us to check them on the court. Not no Bush League stuff, because that doesn't allow us the opportunity of beating them. You're kicking Jamal Murray in the kneecaps ain't going to solve the problem. Because the problem is you not being able to beat them outright. Now, a lot of things can fall in our favor. Hopefully health issues don't have anything to do with that. But a lot of things can fall in our favor and can help us win the series. But what it really comes down to is just our team out executing this team down the stretch of basketball games. They've played close games against this team over and over and over again, and they've been better down the stretch of those games. That's where you need to get better. That's where you need to solve the problem. And I personally think the best way to go for me, given the fact that I am of the mindset that there have been pockets at a time throughout the course of the season where the Nuggets have not been scoring up to the level of what the NBA would require them to be the best team in the league. And they rely upon more so of their defense this year than they ever have, that you run the damn score up on them. That you come out and play at a certain pace that allows you the advantage to score more. I don't think defense for the Lakers is as much as important in this series as is scoring as much as you can against the Denver Nuggets. I really believe that, because I've seen the Denver Nuggets have issues, not the whole season, but during pockets of the time in the season where they couldn't score more than 105 points, 110 points, which in my mind, if they go up against a high-powered offense, isn't going to cut it. Now, they've had games where they go for 135, 145, but not consistently. Not consistently this season. So I want to test that out. That's the point of view I want to come from. I want to run the score up to 140 points against the Denver Nuggets. And if they can score 145, cool. But that's where I think we really can afford to try something that we haven't tried. Because at the end of the day, if you leave yourself trying to defend the Denver Nuggets, what you're going to find out is that you actually don't have the matchups to really do so. You're going to leave somebody open. MPJ specifically, he really can't have a big series offensively for us in order for us to have any success. He can't be who he's been against us all this time. But to offset that, you got to score more. So where I'm looking at is two things. One, we got to let Rui Hachimura attempt more than 5 and 6 shots a night in this series, you guys. If he's going to be 5 out of 6, 4 out of 5, we need to up his attempts to 15 to 20 attempts. Some of those 80 push shots, them layups that he be missing that get rebounded by the other team and go the other way. Those needs to be Rui Hachimura jump shots or Rui Hachimura three-point shots, because he's shooting too well percentage for me not to be spamming him more. And another thing that I'm looking at in this series is Gabe Vincent. He was not a part of any of what went on against the Denver Nuggets as a Laker. His point of attack defense is what people have been screaming about all season long. He's been back now for about 6 games. He looked his best against the New Orleans Pelicans. He needs to have a role in this series, and we have to put him on players like Jamal Murray for pockets at a time. And he has to have success. He has to put pressure on those guys by hitting his 3, and he has to put pressure on those guys by playing good D. We need Gabe Vincent in the series. And Vanderbilt. When Vanderbilt gets back, can coach incorporate him in responsibly? I don't think he did so with Gabe Vincent. In the first couple of games, Gabe was back, and as a result, our team suffered. I don't think he really does that very well. That cannot be a problem against the Denver Nuggets. You got to work Vando back in a very responsible and careful way. Otherwise, you're going to be punting games in this series, and obviously, you cannot afford to punt any games in this series. Another thing I'm looking at in regards to this series, our team has set a precedent all season long for our stars missing basketball games. Their bodies are used to taking every 3rd, every 4th game off. That cannot happen in this series. That cannot happen in this series. You don't win any basketball games that AD and Bron both don't play in. I don't think I need to say that again. And that's why I wanted us to not load manage as much. Now, granted, AD played so many games, this and that, particularly LeBron James. His body at this point throughout the course of this season has been used to sitting every 4th or every 5th game. Sometimes we rest him and ain't nothing wrong. That can be a problem against this Denver Nuggets team. It cannot happen, man. He has to play every single game of the series, or else he will not have a chance against this team at all. So those are the keys that I'm looking at early on. Obviously, there's more homework to do. I haven't done any homework on the Denver Nuggets as it pertains to preparing for this series, but I have been keeping an eye on them all season long. And I'm telling you, I am telling you all, they are not playing their greatest basketball this season. They're not. Well, they are living off of the reputation of beating the hell out of us every time they see us. That's what gives them the mystique. They really haven't been beating the crap out of everybody, or else they'd be the #1 overall seed instead of 2. If they were to see the OKC Thunder, they don't have home court advantage. If they were to see the Boston Celtics in the final, they don't have home court advantage. They haven't been playing their best ball, man. Jokic is your MVP in my mind. Not SGA, not Luka the Don. It is Jokic. I told y'all 2 years ago that Jokic can win MVP every single year because of what he's going to be able to do from an efficiency standpoint and a volume statistical standpoint. Denver revolves everything around him. And his natural ability is going to make it so that he not only hits all kinds of shots all over the place, but he's going to rebound the ball, he's going to hit free throws, and he's going to assist the ball at a Hall of Fame level. That makes him more efficient than everyone. Everyone. Why? Because your guy Joel is not going to get the assist to match. Giannis ain't going to hit enough shots efficiently from behind the arc or the free throw line to match. Luka the Don ain't going to play good enough defense or probably rebound the ball as much, nor was his team going to win enough to match in theory. In theory. And SGA is a young player that they probably just not going to give it to. Not to mention that his stats are not going to match Jokic either. Jokic should be the MVP most years until Wemby starts taking over. And the reason why I think Wemby could be a match to Jokic once he reaches his highest peak is because of what he's going to do defensively, which is going to probably break records defensively with stats. He's going to block more shots than anybody since Wilt in my mind when he's all said and done. He's probably going to steal the ball than most too. And that's on top of the fact that he can assist. He can shoot the ball. He can score in the paint. He's going to, you know what I mean? He's going to start winning MVPs in my mind. It's between him and Jokic. There's a lot of guys that are going to be tasting MVPs, getting close to it, but each and every year, Jokic's probably going to win it. I've been saying that for 2 or 3 years, man. And he bowed out in the last minute last year against Joel on purpose so that Joel would win it. And most of us know that. He gifted the MVP to Joel because he knew it meant a lot to Joel, and he's a decent guy, and he likes the guy. Like, genuinely. He wanted to see Joel win the MVP. I don't think he's comfortable with dominating the MVP trophy every single year, but the reality is, it's set up that way for him too, based on how his team uses him, how fantastic of a player he is. It's the truth. And so with that being said, AD is going to have to play phenomenal basketball. AD has significantly gotten better at passing the rock. I think his ability to pass out of double teams and read Jokic's passes on the other end are going to be very important in this series. If his back is stiff to start this series, it could cost us games. He's going to have to be healthy. And we're going to have to give him spells away from Jokic so he's not leaning on AD all game long, because Jokic is 275, 280 pounds, man. And AD's only like 250 or something like that. This is not a good matchup for him physically. So we can't have it so that Jokic is always being guarded by AD all series long. Now, I was listening to Jason Timpf, I believe it was, talk about the Jokic matchup. No, excuse me, the MPJ matchup. I believe it was him. Maybe I was listening to someone else, but they were essentially saying that they thought Spencer Dinwiddie should try to guard MPJ. MPJ is 7 feet tall, you guys. I like Spencer Dinwiddie to try to defend on help situations, but that assignment probably needs to be LeBron James. He's probably going to have to be the main guy guarding MPJ until we can get Vando worked into the equation, and then Vando will try to play him a little bit. Maybe we could throw some, and I know this is going to sound crazy to people, but maybe we throw some Taurean Prince on MPJ some of the time. But if you're thinking about throwing a point guard on him, even a point guard with length, like Spencer Dinwiddie, he's going to have no success. He's not going to even see the man. He's going to shoot over him. Not to mention what he's going to do on the boards if he has somebody like that rebounding, trying to out-rebound him. It's not going to work. One of the things that MPJ always does to the Lakers is he out-rebounds us. On top of the efficient scoring, he barely misses a shot every time we play him. We haven't found a match for him. And I think if we lose this series, that's going to be one of the most important things that Rob Pelinka does, is find somebody in free agency that we can throw on MPJ somehow. That needs to happen. And I think that's what it really comes down to. If we don't win the series, I just want us to make the adjustments necessary so that we match up better with this team. I know that's a dangerous thing to chase because every team could change. Now we're going up against something else next year and it might not even be relevant. But I do think we're going to have to find a way. If we ever want to win another championship, we're going to have to find a way to match up better with the Denver Nuggets. I think Rui's improvement as a player overall, both sides of the floor and rebounding, is going to be very important in this matchup because he is the player who has the size, but maybe not the speed to keep up with MPJ. But if he can offset that by scoring 20 of his own points and out-rebounding him for some of those 50-50 balls and maybe drawing fouls in situations, I think that can go a long way. But you got to understand, Aaron Gordon is also out there. And Aaron Gordon is a bruiser, a rebounder, someone who can stretch the floor, hit threes himself, which is important and key in this series. If he hits those, is a problem. But I look at him as the biggest problem for us because there's really no answer for both him and MPJ together. You have to leave one of them open. And if you leave Gordon open, he's going to hover around 15, 20 feet and dunk the ball every time you give him a chance and get all types of offensive rebounds and all that and make things hard on AD, for which Jokic is already doing by himself. So that's why the matchups are so bad for the Lakers, is because they got 3 7-footers and one of them's 270 pounds and passing the rock like Magic Johnson. So it's difficult for the Lakers, especially without the guard play, to stay in front of the guards that they have. And with KCP hopping around, being disruptive and hitting threes and getting out in the open court and laying the ball up and all that stuff, it just makes for a very tough matchup for the Lakers. That's why I do think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be important, but more so on a guy like KCP, rather than putting him on MPJ at 7 feet damn tall. It's not happening. But I do think his defense is going to be important. I think Gabe Vincent defense is going to be important. And just like I said about the Orlando series and the Clippers series, Coach Ham is going to be tasked with keeping the right guards on the floor at the right time, and he's going to have the stomach to sit people if they're not playing well. If Austin is not playing well and he's getting cooked, you got to sit him down for either Gabe and Spencer Dinwiddie. It just is what it is. Same thing with D'Lo. If D'Lo's having one of them 0 for 5 starts, now you sit him down. We just can't do it. We don't have the margin of error for our guards to be getting cooked and not score. You got to be hot, or you got to sit down for one of those guys that are a little better defensively. And that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to be leaning on Spencer Dinwiddie and Gabe Vincent more in this series than ever before, because the problem we've had all year is that we can't guard fast guards. Well, these two come in and they can do that. They're not the best defenders in the world, but they do profile as defenders. And if me keeping D'Lo and Austin on the floor is going to leave Murray to go for 40, I'm not going to let it happen. I will phase them out all the way before I let them ruin the series for me. I got too many front court issues trying to defend and trying to keep up with those bigs to be getting cooked by the damn guards. It is important that Austin and D'Lo play very, very good defense and shoot and very well against these two guards, KCP and Murray. Or for me, I'm sitting them. And I ain't thinking twice about it. Because this series requires that you keep somebody in front of Jamal Murray, or he's going to have a legendary series. I'm telling you right now, you keep Austin on Jamal Murray, he's going to have a legendary series. That boy going to go for 40 every night. Don't think he can't do it. He's done it before. And so that's what I'm saying to all of y'all, man. I think Gabe and Dinwiddie are very important against the Nuggets, man. And I think if they don't score well, then you have to get away from them too, because scoring is so important, as I've already said. But you can't completely punt defense, because if you do, you will leave them open to score a lot, and they will do that. So it's tricky, man. It's tricky. But I'm telling you, with Gabe Vincent and Spencer Dinwiddie's ability to play some defense, we do have some things to throw at Denver that we haven't had before. And if Rui has gotten better, which I believe he has, then he can also contribute to that dynamic quite a bit. And of course, getting Vando back in a responsible and productive way can go a long way in helping us win some games in this series. But we got to bring him back productive. He can't have no setbacks. He can't be a scoring deficient player down there messing up the spacing and all that. We can't have him out there doing that in this series. It ain't going to work. And I like what I've seen from Taurean Prince as of late. I really do. I'm not a Taurean guy, nor am I a Taurean hater. I've had issues with Taurean's usage and how he's been utilized. But with the minutes that he's been given over the last couple of games, I think he's contributed to both sides of the floor better than probably he has in a while, especially the defensive side. Blocking shots, that's a new thing for him. He's been using his length to help on the weak side. I think that goes a long way, a very long way, if he can keep that up in helping our basketball team win some games against the Denver Nuggets. So, yeah, man, that's where my head is. I really wanted to come here and just give you some pointers. This is not my preview. Like I said, I'm arguing with myself about making an official prediction. I want to be consistent with the playoffs, but I'm entirely too invested in this series as a fan. We need this too bad for me to be putting stuff out in the open air that speaks to us not having a chance. I don't think that is what the Lakers need from me. What the Lakers need from me is to believe that we can gain our respect from this basketball team that has had our number, for me to point out anything that I see in regards to helping us win, and to be on our side as it pertains to the belief that we can overcome this basketball team. I don't have to deny what the data tells me. Everybody sees what the data tells them. But I also understand that we're healthier this year. We have different pieces to throw at Denver, and Denver ain't playing better ball than they did last year, and they miss Bruce Brown. So that's what I have to say, man. I ain't predicting anything I don't believe. I'm just going to tell y'all what comes to mind each and every time I get a chance to. So that's really what it is, man. It's Lakers up, man. Everybody else, see you on the side somewhere, man. We don't care about anybody but what it is that we are. And that's the LA Lakers, 17 NBA championships. Maybe we get out of series, maybe we don't, but I want my respect, man. And I won't give Mike Malone the pleasure of feeling defeated before the series starts. That's what everybody else gonna do. I ain't doing that. I just ain't. Salute the Kobe Minute, video 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.